Well, my father is no longer with us, but
I know.
I would think that he would be just thrilled that he came back as Dracula. That he would love it. I mean, yeah, that would be a yes. Nah. Nicholas, I am Dracula.
Life a la Latina presenta Socialiciando. Sí, Socialiciando. Con Alicia Civita.
Hello.
Hello.
I love this backdrop you have.
You
That's
see,
so beautiful.
I'm in Dracula lair. I had the teeth, but I couldn't speak with them. So
no, I understand. I know what that's like, but that's quite a set. I love it.
I was gonna ask you, were the teeth part of your recreation of the character? Because usually we don't see Dracula with all these pointy teeth in there.
This was a design that came from Christian Tinsley and Chris McKay. Christian Tinsley really liked Lon Chaney in a movie called London After Midnight, where Chaney had these fangs in his mouth with the top hat. And that was the main inspiration for this look for Dracula, plus Christopher Lee in the Hammer horror films. That was also a big inspiration. Dracula is a character that's been done many times. It's a character that's been done well a few times and has been done not so well.
Many other.
Yeah, and I wanted to be on the side of doing something well. So I just looked at all my favorite Dracula performances and sort of cherry-picked what I liked as a springboard. And then I kind of did a deeper dive into, well, what can I bring that is new or has a freshness to it or a spark to it? And I had made a movie called Vampire's Kiss, where I was channeling my father, August Coppola, and his manner of speaking, because he loved to speak with distinction, because he's a literature professor. And so I thought that was still a good voice. Chris McKay backed me up on that, because we didn't want this to go into the kind of goofy sound of Dracula, like a skit or a sketch from Transylvania. So we centered on the mid-Atlantic sound. And you know who else had that was Anne Bancroft as Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate.
My husband will be back quite late. He should be gone for several hours.
Yeah, I read that.
Well, she was a big inspiration too, because that was a kind of seductive Dracula-esque performance. So those were the two big influences, August Coppola and Anne Bancroft. And from there, it was whatever really happened on the set. Sometimes these things happen magically, like the alchemy is there where you get an idea and a spark. And if you're provided you've got a great cast, like I had with Awkwafina and Ben Schwartz, Brandon Jones. I mean, these are actors that are really 100% committed to their performances. And I mean, nobody was phoning it in. It helps.
Here for the meeting? Well, come on! No!
Some call me the Dark One, others the Lord of Death. To most, I am Dracula.
That's your dad, right?
August is my father. Yeah.
I mean, the picture behind you.
What, that one?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's Jim Morrison. The poet.
Oh, Jim
I should
Morrison.
have my father here.
Right.
That's my dad up there with my mom.
Okay.
And that's my grandfather conducting.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you because I loved how you got inspired by his voice. But like I said, if I did that to my dad would have not be happy. He had no sense of humor about himself. My husband would love it. How did your dad react to these kind of things?
Well, my father is no longer with us, but
I
would think that he would be just thrilled that he came back as Dracula. That he would love it. I mean, yeah, that would be a yes. Nah. Nicholas, I am Dracula.
And I know that you named your daughter after him as well.
Yeah. Augie,
It's a way that you're surrounded by him. You also have now 3 kids like he did. Do you see yourself like taking over your dad's kind of place What do you miss most about him? How is this playing in your life right now?
Well, I mean, in a way, August Coppola II is my daughter, right? I mean,
Yes.
I feel like in some ways she is a gift that almost came from him, in the sense that he always wanted a little girl. He never had that experience. So I'm kind of living what he wanted. So in that way, it's like a gift from him, even though who knows. But I mean, I think we have separate lives, or had separate lives, different interests. You know, my interest was always film performance. His was more to do with that which is the blind experience and touch and the haptic world, and so much so that he invented this tactile dome that that you can go through in San Francisco. He was an educator. He was a great thinker and an educator, whereas I'm more on this path of film performance. It's different, but I do miss our conversations. I miss having an abalone and a martini with them at 21 Oceanfront and talking. Yeah, sure. But it's been, what's it been now? We're coming up on almost 20 years. You know, it's been a while. But and in a way, I feel like by channeling him for Dracula, it kind of brings it back for me, you know?
Yeah, that's what I felt, because I think Reef is funny that way. It comes,
You know, and that, and also that, you know, by doing that, by finding something that's so emotionally important to me, it gives the character, the performance gravitas. It has a personal connection. So it becomes more like no acting, please. You know, I think he would have been happy with this. I think he would have loved this.
well, and on the other side, I'm a daughter of an educator as well. And I want to tell you, you brought him to us, because otherwise the new generations wouldn't really know about him. And when you say that, we look.
Oh, yeah, you
to
looked him
learn
up.
from him.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, yeah, he
So
was
it's a
very
beautiful thing.
involved. He loved
Thank you.
he loved the young mind. He loved the student's mind. That was what he was most passionate about, was the young generation and what they were thinking about, and how they could evolve together, you know. I'm happy to hear that.
I love that you guys managed to create something that has been done so many times and made it so new and so current. And I saw it, and I can't wait to see it again with my family. So
I hope you guys all go and enjoy it. I mean, it does. It's funny and it's scary, but it's also talking about subjects that are relevant today, and it treats it with compassion. You know, this toxic situation between boss and employee, or even in love affairs. I mean, these things can happen and go wrong. Brandon Jones has some really very wise things to say in this movie.
And I hope you come back from the little cement cubes. Thank you so much.
Okay. No, I'll be back. I wanted to go back to Miami. You know, I love the city. I'm here because I have parenting duties, but it was nice that we could still talk in this.
Nothing more important than that. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Now, let's eat.